Hello, my name is Amber and I run Hoosier Hypnosis. Today I want to tell you about one of the most frustrating conversations that I have with clients. And it's not because you're wrong, um, but you sit down and you tell me, I know what my pattern is. I can trace it back to childhood. I understand why I'm doing it, and I still do it. And they look at me like they're broken, like there's something wrong with them. Like understanding should have been enough. And I can't remember exactly what I've told every person, but it's usually something along the lines of knowing and learning are two different brain functions. And you can't think your way out of a pattern that lives in your body. Your body does keep the score and it remembers ingrained patterns, especially the ones you've been using the longest. So, your brain essentially has two main operating systems: your thinking brain, your conscious brain, the part that primarily uses your prefrontal cortex, logic, insight, understanding, and your survival brain, which lives more in your amygdala, hippocampus, pattern recognition, and automatic responses. When you learn about anxiety in therapy, or read about trauma responses, or understand your coping habits, that's your thinking brain. It's valuable and it's necessary, but it's not always sufficient for solving the problem. You can't think your way out of a feeling. Not really. Because that anxiety doesn't live in that thinking brain. It lives in your survival brain. And that survival brain doesn't speak words. It doesn't care about insight. It cares about your experiences. So, let me give you an example, personal example. I had a bad Facebook problem for a while. I could not stop responding to people that ticked me off about saying dumb, clearly misinformation stuff on the internet about my field or other topics. I knew that it was dumb. I knew it was a waste of time. I knew I wasn't going to change those people's opinions. I mean, I might affect somebody, but that was probably mostly wishful thinking. Um, I could explain it to you in detail. And yet I was still on there at 2 a.m., hand on my phone, responding to someone. Maybe because I couldn't sleep because of some other anxiety. And I was probably avoiding something I didn't want to feel. um, I've had this happen several times. I've gotten better about it over the last month or two. But I still find myself falling back into that pattern when I'm stressed because I'm still learning to rewrite those experiences. And it didn't matter that I knew psychologically exactly what I needed to do. My nervous system had learned that this was a way to get myself out of whatever feeling I was avoiding, out of whatever task I was avoiding doing. And no amount of understanding was going to rewrite that until I started experiencing new things. Your brain is an efficiency machine. It's miraculous. It doesn't judge any of these patterns as good or bad. It just noticed this one gets used a lot, or this one worked in the past. Must be important. Let's make it automatic. Every time you repeated that old pattern, every time you went down the anxiety spiral, reached for the comfort, avoided the conflict, you practiced it. And practice makes permanent. Not perfect. We are not perfect creatures. People need to stop saying practice makes perfect. That is the second most annoying conversation I have with people. Practice makes permanent. That old pattern became wired, efficient, automatic, not because it's good for you, but because it's familiar and because your brain knew how to do it automatically. So, what do you do? How do you solve this problem? especially if you're not coming to me to jumpstart the process. It's not willpower, it's not more insight. Give yourself a new experience. Start with something small. A small repeated experience that contradicts the old pattern. One moment of noticing the old prediction and saying that you don't like it. That makes it easier to notice the next time. And when you get good at that, one experience of having that feeling of maybe the anxiety or the boredom and not acting on it, even if it's only for 4 or 5 minutes, you're still giving it a new experience. You're still changing the prediction, taking a step in that direction. And then maybe it's one time of avoiding it for a day. Or maybe it's one time of meeting that need that you have with a new coping mechanism and having it work. Apologize, my throat's a little dry today. Each one is new data. Each one is new practice. Each one causes your brain to learn. Oh, there's another way. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to never fall into the pattern again. You just have to keep practicing a new pattern until it happens more often than the old one. And I know it's hard, especially if you're doing it the old way. And the Pavlovian, I'm just going to keep doing it. But it works. Change the prediction, change the pattern. Change your thoughts, change your life. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to never fall into the old pattern again. You just have to practice it more often. And if you're tired of knowing what to do and still not doing it, let's talk. Or talk, if you already have a therapist, talk to your therapist. Bring this into them. I just want people to stop suffering. And even if you just have a question or want an idea of who you could reach out to in your area, still give me a call. I have a free consult. That's why I do this. I have connections, and if I don't have connections, I can find someone if I'm not in your area. I just want to see people stop suffering, not to keep beating themselves up over things they can change, they can practice, new experiences that can overwrite the old ones. Let's see if we can figure out how to give your brain the new learning that it needs, whether it's with me or someone else. And with that, I hope you all have a beautiful Monday. I hope that your week is fantastic. And I'll be back with 2 more shorts on the same topic a little later in the week. Bye.